Alright, Krusty Krushers and LogiSwords. We're going to start this one up real quick. So I started recording this one, and then I ran out of space on my PC, so we're going to restart it. But this map I like a little better for the start of the series. So we were on Route 66. LogiSwords were on their first attack. They were doing pretty well. But we never saw Krusty Krushers attack, so we'll see if this shapes out any different. But unfortunately, I did lose my recording, so I'm just gonna restart the series. I don't want to do two separate VODs. Don't really feel like editing. Double Roadhog is crazy though, chat. Okay. Already looking a bit different than Route 66. We had a Zarya Roadhog on that one, but now we have double Roadhog. Looking a little bit better for LogiSwords though too, so. They did have Hanzo, which his ult gets completely shut down by having Zarya on his team, so Ashe will at least have access to her Bob. We'll see though if this goes any differently on Samoa. LogiSwords versus Krusty Krushers, map 1. Like I said, the recording did get kind of bricked on that first map, so we're going to try again. LogiSwords coming off to a quick start here, but Mercy actually going to be halted out of the res, but the two hogs are still up. But eventually will go down, so LogiSwords winning that first fight fairly handily. Gonna start ticking up that point progress. You can't win with two hogs, man. I don't know if you're gonna be able to win at all. This is probably best case scenario for Krusty Krushers. One of the best case scenarios. Alright. I'm gonna miss that hook. Dynamite's out here. It is gonna land on this. Oh, didn't actually get the hog. Mercy gonna get shredded here, as well as that Moira, and man, oh man, this is just looking dominant for LogiSwords. They might be moving up the power rankings after this one, chat. Them and Rush Hour are gonna be the two teams to really watch throughout this season. As LogiSwords look a lot better than they did last season. Of course, they maintained the Junker Queen and the Zarya from last season too. Gotta be feeling good about that. Two very solid tanks. And oh my word, Krusty Krushers are in a world of hurt. 65-0 here. This is looking like 100-0 if I've ever seen one. Roadhog gonna get in here pretty deep. He's gonna go down. And Sojourn gonna fall. And my oh my. Krusty Krushers are getting fully routed here in this matchup. The team just not quite having enough damage to deal with these three tanks. So that'll be a 100 to zilch on this first point on Samoa. LogiSwords looking like a force to be reckoned with. Looks like we're going to see a Zarya swap. I don't know if that's going to be maintained on the second point, but I'm assuming it will be. Find out shortly. It will be, okay. Gonna see the Zarya come back into play here. Obviously, you guys didn't see the first time I attempted this map, but they did have Zarya. Didn't work out too well for them. However, the double Roadhog didn't seem to be working here either against LogiSwords, so we'll see. Maybe Zarya is a little bit better with this hog. We'll have to find out here shortly. Does at least give you a little bit more utility, those bubbles. A little bit more defensive options and sustain. On the other side, we are going to be maintaining that Ashe with the triple tank and Widow. Here comes the Zarya bubbles. Sorry, gonna be traded out. Mercy gonna go for this res. She doesn't quite get it. Widowmaker able to pick her off. Ashe and Widow just double sniper. Popping off here. Gonna result in a first point take here for LogiSwords. And my oh my, this is looking like a 3-0 smash. So Krusty Krushers, being the number 2 team in Get Good, have looked fairly solid throughout the year so far, but right here and right now they do not look very powerful against LogiSwords, and this might be LogiSwords and Rush Hour might be the match to look out for as the series continues, or as this season continues. Those two teams looking mighty powerful. It's looking more and more to be the case here. In Season 3, Ashe obviously coming back from respawn. She's going to find her way over. And Krusty Krushers just looking out of this one. Sojourn not nearly as potent against this LogiSwords squad, as her damage just doesn't seem to meet the threshold to dominate LogiSwords. And my oh my, that might just be 100-0, 100-0. Sorry, last one alive, but she's not going to be long for this world against the Widow and the Ashe. And the respawns should be back in time for LogiSwords regardless, despite being down all their tanks. And Samoa Man, just a dominant showing here in map 1 for LogiSwords. So not too different from that first Route 66 that we were going to see before it got scrapped. And it will be a 1-1, or a 1-0 series, excuse me, going into map 2. So we will not even see them respawn. Actually, they will, okay. So, on 2 100-0s, very dominant showing here from LogiSwords. As we can see, the threshold for damage not quite there to beat a team with this much tankiness. Have to see. Okay, so we're going to go to another cop. This will make this series nice and quick if LogiSwords continue to dominate the way they have been. Krusty Krushers, of course, have been looking like a pretty strong team before today and last week against Rush Hour. Against these top dogs, they have been getting completely squandered. I think Rush Hour also 3-0'd them. So Krusty Krushers, your playoff time, you gotta feel a little bit nervous about your chances of actually coming away with a crown this season. Very, very solid roster, but not quite up there swinging with the top dogs. Yet, it seems there's not a lot of teams that swing with the top dogs. I think only LogiSwords and Rush Hour are competitive in the top echelons of this league. I do think, I mean, obviously, I don't think we've seen them play each other yet. So, remains to be seen if it's just a squash, depending on matchups. We'll have to find that out, though, as the season progresses. So this is going to be an interesting one here. Oh, they do have the Ramatra this time around. Sojourn falling first, not ideal. Mercy gonna go down next, and holy Genji putting in some solid work here for LogiSwords. Gonna result in this first point take. Quite a showing indeed coming out here from LogiSwords as they are throttling Krusty Krushers. Well, it was anticipated to be a close matchup. Obviously, this triple tank roster has been one of the most powerful ones we've seen. I get to play this team next. I'm not exactly excited for that series, but See how that goes for us. Genji gonna trade out a bunch of members. Well, not trade, but he's going to finish off a lot of members of Krusty Krushers. And, man, LogiSwords, I think they're just gonna 3-0 this, guys. They have looked fully in control of this series. Hasn't looked close quite yet. LogiSwords haven't looked close with very many teams. They have just been rolling lots of rosters. Of course, after this one, I believe they are going to be a 5-0 team. See if Rush Hour can maintain their 5-0 after this too, because Rush Hour, I think Rush Hour thinks, okay, so it's fight win going Krusty Krusher's way. There we go. That's a little bit signs of life coming through. Do without their supports at the end there. Wasn't exactly anticipating that to swing that heavily, but it did. So they do at least get some percentage on this Ilios started. With this Ramatra, however, Ramatra getting very low, and Mercy's gonna pay for this. Ooh, she does get out. Okay, so they don't actually find any picks, and Sojourn finds the... Oh, Mercy gonna go down though, but trade's actually favoring Krusty Krushers here, so okay. Okay, maybe I do need to get a little bit more involved in the series. Here we go. 40% tick in here for Krusty Krushers. Signs of life. Genji probably just gonna, yep. Fall here. Unfortunately for LogiSwords, you aren't gonna see that blade. That's really gonna hinder you going further into this map. You are not gonna see the Zarya ult as well. So, two major hindrances coming out here. Here comes the Ramatra ult. This could be huge for Krusty Krushers. Some trades. Gonna immediately favor Krusty Krushers, and they're right back into this one. Okay, so they could very well take this point now. Okay. So it was looking a bit rough for them on Samoa. Going quite a bit better here on Ilios now. At first it looked like it was just going to be a steamroll, but good retake by Krusty Krushers, and now they're holding on fairly strong. Have to see if this Queen ultimate can get anything done here. However, she gets very low very quick and goes down, and that is just going to be it. So Krusty Krushers actually able to take this first point on Ilios. Looking better already for them. Sorry, going to go down, and eventually the rest of the squad should fall. So twist of fate coming through here for Krusty Krushers. So that fight flipped very quickly. When they were at 75% LogiSwords. You get a little bit back into the headspace of this series. So LogiSwords up 1-0. However, Krusty Krushers flipped the script completely on them on that point. It looked like it was going all LogiSwords' way. And then all of a sudden, Krusty Krushers came out with four reverse picks to turn that fight around, and then they proceeded to walk back the point and get 100% without losing another fight there. So does seem like Krusty Krushers do have a place in this series. It's going to come down a lot to who these bots are. The randomized bots, I feel like, really having a big impact in this one. I think Ramatra putting on quite a good showing for himself here. See how this goes, though. Queen going to be the first to fall here, so Mercy going to get traded out. However, that's quite the big advantage for Krusty Krushers. Going to result in them taking that one pretty cleanly. So, wow, this Ilios is looking completely different to Samoa so far. LogiSwords coming back for another fight. Ever since they got 75% on that first point, it has been all Krusty Krushers on Ilios. The bubble does come out onto this queen. Sojourn able to find one. Sojourn able to find Zarya. Sojourn looking for this Orisa. Roadhog's going to find her instead, though. And the res come through onto the Ramatra. And oh my, Sojourn getting more picks as the fight goes on there. So LogiSwords looking a bit on the back foot suddenly. And this could be a 1-1 series. So my oh my, that was completely unanticipated. Change of pace here from Krusty Krushers. Now it suddenly looks like they're going to win Ilios. This Junkrat pick hasn't seemed ideal yet. I have to see though. Mercy again, very high into the sky. Oh my! Oh, she gets booped off the map by the Junkrat. However, Junkrat going to get traded out. Sojourn also going to find the Widowmaker, and oh my word, Sojourn absolutely put on a show, showing why she is one of the top DPS in this league, as she just continues to fry. And that is looking like Krusty Krushers able to eventually take this second point, more than likely. Queen's going to come back in here. See if she can grab a touch. I think she will. She's a full head of steam. They're going to switch to Ashe here. This Ashe pick worked out quite well for them first time around. She goes in pretty deep here. She's going to get punished, though. Widowmaker on the high ground, but does get that bubble. But she's going to go down, and that is looking like it. So despite my initial perspective on this series, after that first map, Krusty Krushers just completely turned around Ilios. Sojourn puts on quite a dominant performance here, and that's going to result in a 1-1 series. So complete difference from that first map. Krusty Krushers dominating LogiSwords here, you could say, on Ilios. Wasn't exactly expected, especially without that first map win, but here we are. We are at 1-1 apiece going into map 3. Kind of expected Krusty Krushers to be down 2-0 here, but hey, they put on a very good showing. And we're going to be going to a hybrid map for this third map, and as we know how impactful these third maps are in a series, if this tied 1-1 score is in place, it can really just, whoever wins this is more than likely going to win the series, but remains to be seen here. Close one. So, two of our... I'm just going to say it. I don't see a world in where no diff unks or AI are going to overtake Krusty Krushers. It could happen, but I just don't see the world where that does happen. So, more than likely, Krusty Krushers are a playoff team, and LogiSwords are definitely a playoff team. In their first matchup, it is looking pretty close so far. However, Doom, not an excellent choice. Tracer on the other side isn't exactly the best either. I think Ashe works out a little bit better for this squad with the triple tank. Have to see, though. My team is going to play Note of Unks. We did just trade Ashe away. I do like Ashe, but I just felt she wasn't getting enough protection on my team. So I sent her to someone that I think she will get protection with. And I got Tracer in that deal. So Tracer obviously needed a little bit less protection. She very mobile DPS. Survives on her own if she can. LogiSwords getting the good end of the trades here. However, Doom actually able to take out 2 with his left click there. Might result in Krusty Krushers turning this one around. Has been very close fight so far, but Roadhog able to find 2, and Krusty Krushers gonna smash LogiSwords here. So very stark difference on these last 2 maps compared to the first one that we saw. Krusty Krushers looking pretty much in control here. Have to see if they can hold out on this first point. Junker Queen coming back in. She's going to wrap around. Moira getting pretty low in the back there, but she does have help from her Mercy. Sojourn going to help find that Orisa. Trades here 2 for 2. However, Sojourn able to find the Tracer. Sojourn able to find the Zarya, and she has been an absolute menace in this series so far. proven why I really liked that DPS in the first 2 seasons. I did manage to have her on my squad 2 seasons in a row. She was very good for me. However, my team was just not performing well even with her. However, Krusty Krushers have had much better success with the Sojourn on their team. Beat me in the first week 3-0. Widowmaker able to take out Moira. Queen ain't going to be able to deal with that Doom. Sojourn able to deal with Tracer. However, picks seem to be favoring LogiSwords, so they will eventually, more than likely, push through this thing. Mercy going to go down. She comes in a little bit late there. So LogiSwords going to get this payload started. And this series has been a close one so far, so obviously the maps themselves haven't looked very close. Samoa was very dominant in LogiSword's favor, and Ilios, on the other hand, was very dominant in Krusty Krushers' court. Have to see how the series progresses, though. Here comes the Meteor Strike is going to help find maybe a few picks here. We'll see. Okay, so Krusty Krushers able to hold on here on this first choke point on King's Row. And Zarya and Queen are going all the way back to their first spawn. Not even the second spawn. It's kind of a funny retreat. Roadhog gonna heal himself up, but there's only 3 on cart for a Krusty Krusher, so they do have quite a bit of a disadvantage here. They are eventually just going to drop, I think. So LogiSword's going to start pushing on King's Row once more. And these supports really got to think about backing up before they get picked off. Let's see if Mercy... What is Mercy doing? She has the Glock out. Gotta be nervous for Krusty Krushers. I think she's just going to back out, though. We are tied at 1 apiece here. I don't think Zarya or Tracer are going to use these ults, though. Unfortunately, they do combo ultimates, which means Tracer probably not going to get full advantage out of this ult. That is a-okay. Alright. Comes Widowmaker gonna get shredded here. Sojourn hoping to pick off that Widow. And does look like these trades are gonna start to favor LogiSwords here, as there's only 2 supports left with a Roadhog. And that is more than likely gonna be the payload continuing to move here for LogiSwords through King's Row. See if Krusty Krushers can turn their fortune behind? No, around. Excuse me, I don't know what I'm saying. Obviously, this has been a very two-faced series so far. At times, Krusty Krushers have looked very much in control, and other times, LogiSwords have, so... Can we touch... Oh, so LogiSwords are going to be able to push through the second point. And we're going to see how this last one goes. Sojourn able to remove one, but that's not going to be enough, so LogiSword's just going to keep on slowly tumbling through this map, and it looks like they're eventually going to get a full take. More than likely, I'd have to say. 3 minutes on the time bank is more than enough time to get through this third checkpoint, and they have the Queen ultimate to do it. Comes the Queen ultimate, does get the Roadhog. Queen able to get the Mercy, and that is an excellent start here for LogiSwords. It looks like they are eventually going to push through here on King's Row. 2 minutes and a half on the clock. And not much more to push it, so we'll see how much time they finish with. Or if Krusty Krushers can get out for another touch here. Looks like Doom might be able to touch this thing. He will. Comes the Roadhog. Does have his ult. Mercy does get picked off while trying to res, though, and that's probably just going to be it. So LogiSwords doing an excellent job pushing through King's Row despite getting held up a little bit at the beginning there. We will see if Krusty Krushers can do the same, or if LogiSwords can go up 2-1 in this thing. Send us to map 4 with a considerable lead. as I've said, going up 2-1 in a series, most of the time spells a victory for you. If you can get to that 2-1 point, you probably are going to win the series. It's just a matter of maps and getting lucky with the your bot selections. Works a little bit different than in Overbot Season 1 and 2. Obviously, Overbots 1 and Season 2 were a little bit less luck favored, relying more on just having a very solid roster up and down. However, this season can rely a lot on what your tank bot is or your damage bot. We're going to be rolling out with the same things here, so Doom and Tracer will be the decisions again, it seems. Krusty Krushers gonna have to put on quite a show here on King's Row if they want to get back into this one. Otherwise, LogiSwords gonna feel pretty good about going up. Gonna feel pretty good about going up 2-1 in this one, giving yourself some excellent odds. Taking the series away from Krusty Krushers. Obviously, two very formidable squads. We anticipate their matchup in playoffs. And obviously, those two Koth maps went so differently. Doom gonna be in here very deep. Does eventually get that Mercy pocket. However, Mercy's in deep by herself. She is eventually gonna fall. Widowmaker gonna get, or not Widowmaker, Queen gonna get traded out, but that's probably not gonna be enough. So, Krusty Krushers gonna be fended off for this first attack. Gonna have to regroup here and try again, but LogiSwords once again looking pretty strong here on King's Row. Pretty solid defense on that first attack. So here comes attack number 2 for Krusty Krushers. Doom going in very deep once more. Gonna fall. And Widowmaker able to remove one. Queen gonna get the other 3, and that is massive by the Queen there. So this is looking more and more like a LogiSwords map victory. And once again might be in a position where LogiSwords are looking like the better team, but I think it really comes down to that tank selection by Krusty Krushers. At times. Pulse Bomb not finding much, however, she does find the Mercy, so not with the Pulse Bomb obviously, but it's more than likely going to be it here for Krusty Krushers. Moira trying to come in, but I don't think she's going to get much done. She's just going to have to back off. Moira going in pretty deep. She's probably going to get punished for this. Yep. Yeah, that was a very poor choice, I must say. Doom going in pretty deep too. He's going to go down. Mercy going to fall. And my oh my, what poor decision making happened from Krusty Krushers here. Probably going to result in a 2-1 lead here for LogiSwords. King's Row looking very dominant for them. I don't know who Rush Hour plays after this. Obviously, it's the last remaining team. Oh, Moldy Milkers versus, yeah. Yep. I think. Yeah, Moldy Milkers must be playing them. Rush Hour. So that one's probably going to be one-sided after this one. And LogiSwords looking like they're probably going to take this series, especially with how dominant their 2 map wins have been. Gonna have to take a miracle from Krusty Krushers' side to get back into this thing. Doom gonna get shredded here. Mercy going down. Queen absolutely putting in some work. Soldier does find one. Okay, wait. Roadhog's still up here, and there's only a couple threats remaining. They do eventually remove him. And yeah, that's gonna be it, because we're not even gonna see like really a strong fight coming out for Krusty Krushers. I don't know. Here comes a meteor strike. Gonna go back into his backline, so not really useful. Here comes the Soj ult, could be huge. Gonna find this Orisa. At the very least, Mercy going down though is not ideal. Doom gonna go down, and Sojourn dead. So that is gonna be it. Krusty Krushers are gonna get full health here against LogiSwords. Very dominant performance here on King's Row. So, LogiSwords going to go up to that crucial 2-1 score line. And them and Rush Hour are looking like two of the best teams. So Krusty Krushers, I thought we're going to be up there, but it's looking more and more like LogiSwords are going to gonna force my hand. Force me to put them at number 2. I really want to see how they match up against Rush Hour. I think we'll see that next week, actually. That should be a very interesting matchup. However, LogiSwords still have to win one more map to take this series, and a deathmatch is a good spot for Sojourn. So we will see how this goes. However, Mercy can get reses and stuff, so we'll see. Tank and damage pick going to come in crucial here on map 4 in this series. LogiSwords currently lead this one 2-1. Going to be on Krusty Krushers to find a map win here and send us to a map 5. If you can do that, you give yourselves a chance. However, Sojourn is a massive pickup. So a Sojourn mirror here. However, Krusty Krushers is going to start this one with a lead, and they do have a queen, so just as good of a mirror on the other side. And Krusty Krushers coming out to a pretty powerful lead here. 3-0 already in this one. However, it could easily change with the Mercy and the Moira separated. So they're going to lose some. Does get the res, so we'll take that kill away. As Moira and Mercy just continue to distract these. They do eventually fall though, so 2 kills will go the way. Have Sojourn able to find one. And Sojourn on this side, fighting this Hog. Probably not going to result well for her, as Hog is one of the best 1v1 characters in all of Overwatch. LogiSwords looking for some picks where they can find him. However, Sojourn able to find another one. And oh, audio. Where'd you go? Okay, so looks to me like LogiSwords are coming back into this one quite a bit. Have to see though at the end of this fight. Yep, so 11-12, very close here. Krusty Krushers putting on a show here, at least on their final life in this series. Mercy gonna fall to Widow. Orisa getting very low, very, very low. She's gonna drop to Sojourn. 1 point lead here for Krusty Krushers. Sojourn gonna take out the opposing number. However, Mercy gonna res that, take away another pick. And Krusty Krushers are looking to send us to map 5 here, man. They're up 4. Of course, LogiSwords could easily get back into this one, especially with the Warhorse. She is gonna get melted down here though. And Queen's probably gonna go down next. Ooh, wasted the ult too. Okay, so 6 point lead for Krusty Krushers. They are looking dominant on this Paris, looking to send us to a map 5er. Has been a great series thus far from both squads. Looking very dominant when one team is in the lead here, so 24-15, Widowmaker half HP. Sojourn able to take down the Queen at least, so makes it a little bit closer. Only 8 points now, however. Oh, there we go. Still 8 points. Sojourn putting on work for LogiSwords here. Not the usual suspect she's putting in work for. but right now she is. Okay. Mercy able to find a res. Going to extend that lead to 10 once more. Mercy res has come in clutch here on Deathmatch. A massive, massive Queen ultimate for the side you don't expect it from. Krusty Krushers gonna help to remove a few members here, and that 11-point lead is looking mighty fine here for Krusty Krushers, if you want to get back into this one. Fortunately, though, we are going to drop a few members here, so allowing LogiSwords a little bit more into the series. However, can Sojourn find her opposing number? She does, so only 10 kills left here for Krusty Krushers. Unfortunately for them, though, all of LogiSwords are grouped up. They're looking to get back into this thing, so good position to be in here for LogiSwords regardless, as you are now only down 3 from this massive regroup. Mercy gonna get very low. She's gonna fall. 2-point lead only for Krusty Krushers, so they could still manage to throw this one away. And now it's tied. So, momentum. Momentum, baby. LogiSwords back into this one with a full head of steam. Sojourn able to remove her opposing number, so a little bit of chaos. And Sojourn winning the 1v1 against Orisa is actually crazy. Gonna lead. To a very close one here, but looking like LogiSwords, despite early struggles here on Paris, are gonna still be able to secure the 3-1 here. Krusty Krushers put up a valiant fight. They do have the Ramatra now, but that's not going to be enough. Yep, that's going to be it. So, great stuff here from LogiSwords. They're going to beat Krusty Krushers 3-1. Taking that second seed, more than likely. Or taking that second position in my power rankings, more than likely. Oh my word, these dogs. Goofy dogs opening my door. Okay. And that is going to be that matchup. See you in the next one.